Welcome. Today we will be talking about the tool that you're going to use to communicate key messages. There is not one size fits them all. Of course, the media that you're going to use will depend on the complexity of the change management initiative. It will depend on the number of people involved. For example, if they are just in one location, or for example, if they are globally. And most of all, will also depend on the message that you would have, on the culture of the company, and basically how the message can be understood and basically can motivate people to overcome, their internal fears in the best possible way. Most people tend to think that, you just send an email and everything will be fine. Well, actually, it's very unlikely that an email is going to cut it. Also, some companies tend to think that one media is enough. The best communication actually is delivered by using different media. So, for example, a mixture of, it can be an email, it can be a face-to-face announcement. Nowadays, also we have social media. And it's very easy, for example, to deliver the messages via videos, for example, using avatars. The choice is absolutely endless. Again, it's not a matter of showing off, so showing the last favor of the moment, but it's actually to choose medias that are going to be suitable for your audience and for your message. And not only is the media that you will have to choose, but it will always be the timing. We said before, we've spoken about the key messages, and you will have to choose the right timing to communicate those messages. Basically, one of the most dreaded situations is for employees to find out, for example, about a restructuring, about a merger, before it is formally announced. This is absolute disaster, because if the employees start to, gossip about it, the grapevine is very powerful. And if the messages are not controlled, basically these messages will go all over the places, and it will be much harder, basically, to channel them in a positive way. So your aim is not only to communicate the right messages, and we already looked at the main points that you will have to cover, but it's also to choose the right tool, the right variety and the right mix of medias that are going to address all the different kind of different population, and sometimes also delivering messages with a different tone depending on the audience, but it's also to time it in the correct way, to avoid basically the grapevine and to avoid basically rumors that are going to have a detrimental impact not only internally but also externally. Nowadays media are looking for the news. They want to have the front page of the such and such magazine or newspaper, and is always very sensationalist. You don't want to be the company that goes through this kind of treatment and actually have your reputation in tatters. So always take into consideration as and when you will have to deliver those key messages, trying to avoid what is basically the grapevine mill. There are also two different types of communication. In some cases, of course, you will go through what is the formal communication. So these are the announcements, these are the medias, these are basically the timing. So it is just, a basic communication plan. But you will have to take into consideration also the impact of informal communication. One of the main problems actually that I've seen my clients facing is, not only dealing with the grapevine, but is also to deal with disillusioned managers. There are unfortunately some managers that, whilst they claim, yes, I am going to sustain this change management initiative, they don't walk the talk. So basically, whilst formally they are delivering the message and they align themselves to the message that is going to do a consistent message that is going to be communicated to the employees, in reality, with their behavior, they are actually undermining the change management initiative. So it could be that they take part, to this town hall, and yeah, you are going to do this and that and the other, and then basically they talk to their team and they go, yes, this is going to be absolute rubbish, this is going to be an absolute failure, and so on. So you will also have to take into consideration how to manage the informal communication, because the informal communication can actually undermine a very well planned formal communication. From what we are discussing, you can see that communication is not easy, and it's not something that is very wise to underestimate. And therefore the importance of having a prepared and very well skilled communication manager, rather than just appointing someone randomly within the organization. If you're not in a position to manage communication in an efficient way, it could actually be the right timing to get someone external that is actually specialized in managing communication. Again, taking it as a training, taking it actually as a way of closing the capability gap. There is always something to learn. Thank you so much for watching.